the fight to get the hospital back open. Last week we all got together and we had talked with some of our legislatures, and there was a bunch of ARPA money fixing to be released, and we're trying to get a petition at least 5,000 signatures to present to them to be able to present to the State Finance Committee in order to release this money to Pickens County Medical Center.
By law, you only get to have 500 signatures?
No, I don't think it's a law of how many.
Okay.
Our goal is we want 5,000.
Okay. And what's magical about 5,000?
5,000 is if you're sitting here holding 5,000 signatures saying that we, people of Pickens County, want this money, that gives us a little power. If you're sitting there one of the senators, 500 doesn't mean much, 5,000 means a lot.
So far you have 3,000.
We have 3,000 and we've got signatures being circulated, or the petitions being circulated throughout the county.
Okay. Just the 15-second version, if you wouldn't mind, Mayor, why is the hospital closed? Just in case the viewers may have forgotten. Why is it closed today? Just the 15-second version.
Yes, the hospital's closed now, right now, because of funding. It closed back in 2020, and there was some COVID money that was issued to the town, or issued to the Pickens County Medical Center, which wasn't able to be spent because the hospital was closed. We now want that funding sent back to the hospital, along with additional funds to get the hospital open.
How much funding?
We're needing about $12 million at least to get it open back up.
That's just to open it, but not sustain it year in, year out.
Correct. And at that time, that would give them, there's some remodeling that'll have to be redone. They've already got a contractor that's looked at it. Once the remodeling is done, we can get a hospital to come on board that was one already looking at it. We are showing them support. The petition we've got going is showing them that we, the people of Pickens County, are in support of them, that we want them in here, and we're going to support them.
How much of a hardship has it been not having a hospital for 2 years? Your patients have to go to DCH, Northport, or hospital in Columbus, Mississippi. Just how tough has that been for your city?
No, the city has suffered greatly. The whole county has. Just personally, one of our employees, his wife passed away trying to get to the hospital. Ambulance ended up picking her up at the Walmart in Tuscaloosa. She passed away. With this hospital, she would have been saved. We did the football game the other night. If one of them kids get hurt, we've got no hospital to get them any help. No ambulance was at the ball game because they was on a call. So we're sitting there just at the mercy of no help.
Roughly, just a rough estimate, what's the population of Pickens County, including all the little towns?
19,700 something at the last census.
And the hospital just flat out ran out of money 2 years ago?
Yes, the funding that was coming in wasn't enough to sustain it. We were trying to get the critical access, so the government would be paying back the 101% instead of 50-something%, and that's what shut the doors on it.
And there was also a shortage of physicians and doctors. You didn't have a lot of doctors, right?
Yes, at that time we was running, due to the number of people that had actually was using the facility then, yes, the number of physicians were down. They have already spoken with some physicians. A plan is being put in place. The hospital board met last night. They're fixing to put a plan in place to reopen it. They're working with one of the medical centers that once the plan is in place, hopefully they will come in and take over and run the facility.
So you want to open up the ER first? What's the plan? And when,
Yes,
when
our prime goal is we want an ER open. 24-hour day emergency room for people that can go in there in case of emergencies.
So before the entire hospital opens up, you just want to start the ER first, and then at some point reopen the entire building?
Yes, the state, some of this I may not be able to say it. There's another aspect with the state coming in and opening up a mental access part of it that would help fund the whole facility. We need the ER opened up. We do have a facility that's looking at it. We've got to show them support. We've got to show our representatives the support. We're not bashing our senators' representatives. We're merely supporting them with this petition that we've got going in order to release this money. Millions and millions of dollars are being thrown away on this COVID rescue plan and the ARPA money. This money needs to be utilized in our hospital to open it up to where we can get proper use out of it instead of just wasting it.
When would you want to see the hospital reopen? When?
Tomorrow.
I mean,
We-
what's the plan?
A feasible plan is we're looking at, they're getting the hospital board started yesterday. They had a meeting. Their plan is to get somebody in to start setting a plan on what it's going to take to get it open, keep it running, and pass that along. And our goal is just the first of the year. If we could get the funding and get the other people on board to open the first of the year would be great.
So January.
Yes.
For the entire complex?
No, just the.
The ER and
Just the ER?
yeah.
Okay.
It's a touchy thing right there on what we're working, and I don't need to spoil something they got working.
Okay.
That's the reason I can't elaborate on some of it.
When do you plan to go to the state finance committee with these petitions?
As soon as we can get 5,000, and we're going to keep getting signatures. We're not stopping at 5,000. We're going to keep and let all the citizens need to sign these petitions, because this petition will hold weight when we go to Montgomery.
Mayor, you're the mayor of this town. You understand budgets and numbers and all that stuff. If you were to get the $12 million to open it back up, at what point, how are you going to find the money to keep it open, permanently?
The hospital board has them numbers a lot better than I do. That's something that they know exactly what it's going to take, the time frame that the government funding would keep rolling back in off the payroll. So that's a question I can't answer.
Are you from Pickens County?
Yes, I've been in Pickens County all my life.
Okay. As far as you know, is this the first time in your life, at least, y'all have not had a hospital period? The one that's not open?
Yes, I think at Aliceville, the hospital was there for a while, and then when it moved up here, most all of my life, that hospital has been there.
This is the only hospital in Pickens County?
Only hospital in Pickens County. If we leave here, we either have to go to DCH or Columbus, Mississippi.
Mayor, again, tell me how important would it be to have this hospital reopen? What would that mean for your community?
Well, getting this hospital reopened, we have so many elderly people and even young people come up that we're just suffering. We're suffering from this. We need a second chance. We understand that this hospital failed before, but we're asking the state and our Supreme Court and everybody for a second chance to open this hospital, to show us that to show that it can be run. And we're begging for that chance to reopen this hospital.
The $12 million in funding, where would that come from? What specific state agency?
That would be having to come from the ARPA money, which would be from the federal government and the state agency, which is holding some of it.
And again, it's strictly starting out to open the ER.
Yes, it's going to take more than that, but that's the numbers that I've read off of them.
Ultimately, you'd like to see the rest of the hospital open up?
Yes, absolutely. And I wish I could get Sean on the phone just a minute to make sure that number is proper on that.
How's it been here for 2 years not having a county medical center?
If you're living in Pickens County right now and you see an ambulance come by you, you just cringe because you're wondering if them people are going to make it. But we had a wreck in Aliceville just this past weekend, a motorcycle wreck, life-threatening. Took 45 minutes for the air vac to get here. Now, if they would have had a ER, they could have sustained him and probably been in a lot better shape as far as his life before having to be flew out.
Mayor, here's the information that I've reported since, from 2 years ago. 130 workers lost their jobs. You guys opened 40 years ago in 1979. You have 56 beds in the surgical center. And it was about funding and not enough doctors. That's pretty much the guts of the information, right?
That would be pretty well correct. We do have numbers that we're compiling showing every call that comes into the 911. We're saving that data on how many actual emergency calls, how many people are having to be flown out by air vac, how many are being transported to Columbus, how many are being transported to Tuscaloosa to help get this hospital open back up, the importance of it. We do have them numbers.